There we go. Now, okay, so here are the 3 class meetings. So once they're done and recorded, I will transfer them over onto YouTube, and then we'll have them uploaded there, because I think it, like, I was trying to embed them into Moodle and it was taking like an hour to do that each time. So with YouTube it takes about 15 minutes, and that way you can just click on them as a link and I don't have to worry about crashing Moodle. So, because it's been not working so hot with videos embedded in there. So I'll put those there. Online office hours. So I'll have them in office hours at the same time. I will just be hanging out in this like random setup office hours meeting. And so you just log in and ask me your questions and then leave the meeting. That's all that would be. So yeah. So obviously these fieldwork assignments are going to go away. But I found some alternatives that we might be able to try. I found some videos on, like, for example, here. Let's see. Yay. So there's some videos where there's like teachers talking, and then there's some that actually have videos of like classrooms. So these are teachers giving little mini math lessons, and they're like 15 minutes each. So we might watch those together and then talk about them. I've also actually found some actual classrooms. Like, this is 45 minutes long. We're not going to watch this together for 45 minutes. That would be a little silly. But I might make that a homework assignment, and that would count like as a field placement or a field assignment. And I would ask y'all to ask some questions. But it's taking me time because it took me a couple of days to find these things. So I have to watch them to know what kind of questions you should be looking to ask about. So yeah, so that's what I was looking at doing for y'all, since it's going to be kind of weird now. So I will put those up there for that. And you should have links to upload your lesson plans now and your unit plan. Ideally, we would have our second lesson plan or our third at this point. I think, let's see. Third one at this point. But
where do you want us to
it's
upload our
fine.
edits?
So, and couple, and like if you have, I haven't got to grade your second one yet, so you don't have the redos for those yet.
Like,
but
for lesson plan 1, where would we re-upload our any edits that we did?
Let's see. That's a good question.
Can we just email it to you?
Let's see. I want to look at the assignment. No, I don't do that.
If you go up to your...
Couldn't you upload the same, like, let's see, edits.
Like re-upload it?
Yeah, like keep the old one there.
Okay.
And just upload, because additional files, that part, if you could just say draft 2.
Okay.
And see if that works. Let me know if that does work, so that way it can make things a little bit easier, because I would say it's fine to email me, but I've been getting probably over 100 emails. Today I got over 100 emails today.
Easily.
So yeah, because people are emailing me about like canceled meetings and like, here's some free, web services to use online classes for, or here's some free online textbooks that you can share with your students, or what are you doing? I'm freaking out. What, like those kind of things. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of those emails. And then every time somebody just clicks on a Zoom meeting just to see if the link was working, I had over 40 emails between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. because y'all were clicking on the link to join the meeting when the meeting was obviously not going on. but every time y'all were logging in before I was logged on, it would send me an email to be like, hey, go check out your meeting. People are waiting for you. So I'm getting a lot of that right now. I don't want to lose y'all stuff.
Yeah. For you hurt yourself.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Okay, so before the quarantine thing, I went to field work and did some of the field work assignments. Can I still turn those in?
This one goes 4 across. Yep.
You're welcome to, but because nobody else did.
I can. I just did
I
it
did
yet.
2 of them already too.
How many?
I did 1.
You did 1?
I'll also have one.
You'll have 1? What about you, Matt? Will you have any?
No.
No.
Jeez, Matt.
But I can do
slapped me.
them because I did go into the classroom.
Okay, so you could do a couple. What about you, Faith?
I did 1.
Okay, and what about you, Abby?
I could do 1. I have like information I could do it with.
Okay. So how about you can go ahead. I'll leave those links in there for you to upload them, and I will look at them, but I can't count them as extra credit. And if I count like one of them, I have to count one for everybody because it's been a weird thing. So, but I
Well,
can look
if
at them and give you feedback on them. So,
So you were saying that we would watch the videos instead of
right.
like having the fieldwork
Yeah,
experience?
Because I'm not sure if like I know Jess had her first semester and that's all she had was like her early childhood stuff, but then she was getting a field placement assignment for this particular class, so she wasn't able to get into the classroom yet. She didn't get her assignment until a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if she actually did.
Yeah. So
So
were you planning on having us watch the videos in class or outside of it?
So like there's gonna be short ones, like 10-minute ones that we would watch like in between the breaks of the next session. And then we would talk about them. Does that make sense? But like, for example, I found this one, 45 minutes long. We're not watching that together. That would be a little silly to spend one of our full class meetings just watching this video.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I'd have y'all watch this video and then we would have a meeting on it and you would write up some questions on it, or like I would write some questions on it. You would write a little summary about those questions. It won't take you long. My goal is that for you to watch this video and to answer the question might take you an hour total. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
Are
then
you going to upload a revised syllabus by any chance, Joni?
I'm going to be doing that too. So
Okay.
it's a lot right now. So usually like when we're designing a class, we have a few weeks to get all this together. We had days, so a couple of days. So I'm in the middle of trying to restructure my syllabus, the grading schedules, all that right now, while trying to prepare things for us to do so we're not accused of not doing anything and saying that we're taking this time as vacation time, because apparently we've already been getting some comments.
For the fieldwork assignment, like, are you gonna grade one of them then? If we all could do one, or will we not get like?
I have to be able to do it for all of y'all. So if there is one for everybody, then I would grade that one for everybody.
Okay.
But if there's not one for everybody, then I can't.
Okay.
Does that make
Is
sense?
there a way to do it so like instead of doing the replacement fieldwork assignments, that if we've done fieldwork that those could count as the or the replacement ones?
Well, because these would be things that I'm trying to get us to do because I can't allow students to not have those opportunities. And
Yeah.
then, so I have to make it fair for everybody.
Okay. I was just curious.
I know, I know this is a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. So, and I'm trying to keep all of y'all and make sure that we are getting something out of this class after all, because this is kind of
Okay.
to me, but
This one right here. I'm gonna see paper.
so like this one, I would and we might not meet in class on like, if I had give y'all like 2 of these 45-minute videos, we won't meet that day. Does that make sense? And we'd have that conversation the next time. 'Cause then that would be like the whole class, right? Does
Want to do one more piece of work?
that make sense?
Yeah.
You want to do one more?
So, I'm figuring this out. Like I said, I only had a few days to try to think about these things, so working on it.
You do one
So,
more.
other questions?
No.
So, okay, so for the fieldwork assignments, should we just scratch that one completely, or does everyone agree to turn one in? I don't know whether to turn one in or not.
I will, how about this? I will leave these up there. For you to turn stuff in, I will look at them. But if I don't get one from everybody, because we're still missing 2 people here, I can't agree to, like, counting that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay, yep.
Some verbs show in more than one person often does. These verbs do not remember.
I'll leave the things, but I will,
Find or finds a tree.
Right.
The name is find or finds a tree. Which sounds
so like, I will change this section to say field assignment and class discussion / activity.
So it's not really that. Yeah, okay.
And then there will be different assignments there. Because obviously I already had to restructure my syllabus because of this change, and now that those are going out the window, because y'all aren't allowed to go to at all, it's, I have to figure this out.
Just write down. It's just like
Other questions?
what to do. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I missed about half of that.
Oh, that's why it's being recorded.
That one, you're fine. All right.
What else?
Are you still wanting us to do like the reflections and stuff?
Yes, reflections will still be good because you can obviously still do those. So,
And will you keep an
So
updated assignment list?
reflection 3, I guess Sarah just asked if we were gonna get an updated assignments list.
yes, that's coming too.
Awesome. I'm just curious, like that's all.
Let's see. Where's that?
Yeah, take your time. I'm just wondering like the due dates on those things, if they're still gonna be the same.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. And then you need to do something else.
So as of like right now, do you think maybe you could just tell us what we should be working on this week?
Right. Okay. So, you have reflection paper 2. So you have that 3rd reflection there. You want that. So at this point, 1, 2, and 3 should be almost completely submitted. If you don't, that's fine. Still working on looking at things from here on out. So this was due last week. I know some of y'all were going to try to get those submitted, which is still fine. Lesson plan 2 and 3, should be in the works. And then also started drafting your unit plan, because the sooner I get these looked at, the sooner I can figure out how to grade these and upload these back to you so you can keep working on your redo. Because I mean, they're not going to be perfect right out the gate, and I know y'all would like to do well in this class and also do things effectively. So I will be adjusting these things, and obviously we can't teach a lesson in class, but we did that on Friday, or not Friday, last week Tuesday, so that's already taken care of. So yeah, so these will be, and as like I come up with these activities for y'all, I will add these to the assignment sheet. And also there will be, where's my Moodle page? I don't know, I put these dates in for like, if there's something that I would want y'all to like watch this video and answer these 5 questions. Then there will be an upload for that. And also I'm gonna try to see, so if you go to your Moodle homepage, there's a calendar. When you scroll over it, there should be things there for y'all. Because there's an assignment. Let's see, these are all attended. So yeah, it says March 10th, lesson plan is due. Oh, that one's not linked because that has the wrong date on it. So I'm gonna try to get these things to y'all. Like I said, I just feel like this whole thing is kind of a mess and it's very chaotic. And let's see. No, that is not right. That's why you won't see it.
I have a question. I think it might be a dumb question, but I don't know. For the reflection 3, is there like a reading thing somewhere?
Do what?
For reflection 3, what are we like reflecting on? Is there like a reading?
Hold on. Reflection 3. Let's see. That's your 3rd reflection. Student
Okay.
motivation.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
No, you're good.
Okay, I have a quick question. So could you, I'm not sure if we talked about this and maybe I was absent, but could you just really quickly explain what the unit plan draft is?
So you're putting together a document that's essentially, you'll have a part 1, which is your overview. So it's a short summary of what you have in your unit. Part 2 is the actual lesson. So you'll put your 3 lessons in there. Part 3, so these are kind of like just different sections. So you can put it in a binder. Obviously, we're not gonna be turning these in hand. So these would be like, I would try my best to try to do this like as like a Word document that's kind of succinct, or maybe a PDF that you like scanned all these things in, because I know some of y'all like do handwritten worksheets, and so those might have to be scanned in. Does the Fishbowl have a scanner, or is it just a printer in there?
It's just a printer.
Oh, it's dumb. Okay. Yeah, this is making things very difficult for me.
But like you could always take a picture of like a
Yeah,
handwritten
that too.
worksheet.
You can take JPEGs of them and upload them that way, but it's time consuming, but yeah. And then you'll have a summary of what your assessments will be. And then you'll have a summary of what the overall big, like, so you're gonna pretty much do like a closing part of the unit.
Okay.
So yeah. I've had students do this
So,
multiple ways, and obviously I will have to do this very leniently, because obviously you're not going to be able to get immediate feedback from me. So
mhm.
So that sorry. So the closure thing, that's just like the big overall what we want them to have learned from the lesson or from the lessons.
in the lesson plan, the closure.
Yeah.
For the closure on the lesson plan, that's just like, how do they know it's over for the day?
Oh, no, I mean like part 3 of the unit plan. Sorry.
Oh, part 3 is assessment. So those are going to be the, like, worksheets, quizzes. So you're going to talk more, a little bit more detail. So you'll have those in your lesson. Obviously, like some of you will have worksheets and stuff. But how those, like if you had extra things in there, like for example, you would have them in the lesson plans. You're pretty much re-summarizing it as a whole of what the assessment part is. And then for the reflection and summary, talk about how you use different instructional strategies, how you use different learning preferences. So like you had visual, like kinetic, tactile, that kind of stuff. Learning styles. And just so it's just kind of like an overall kind of ending to like these kind of things. So you're going to be talking about, because in the big picture, you'll have that summary, right?
Yeah.
Like what you did in the standards, what standards you're addressing in those lesson plans. You obviously have all these things in there. Assessment part is you're just doing an overall summary of what your assessments were.
So is there a unit plan going on based off of our lesson plans that we've done so far?
Yeah, wait, do one more time.
So like, is our unit plan essentially a unit based off of the lessons that we have done
Yes.
so far? Okay.
Right. And so like here, like it shows a calendar. So like obviously I'm only asking you to write like 3 lesson plans, but it depending on how far you broke up, like how detailed you broke apart those standards, you might have 10 lessons, right?
Okay.
But I'm not expecting you to write all 10 lessons. So
Sorry, am
in
I
the-
the only one who's still seeing Moodle instead of the document?
No. I'm
I've
seeing
seen
Moodle
Moodle.
too.
you see Moodle?
Me too.
God damn it.
It's all good. It makes sense. I just, oh, there we go. It's good now.
Hey,
I'm not seeing at all what you are seeing, so it's still showing me my document camera, and I can't figure out how to make my view of myself change.
so if you go up to the top of the screen, it should say view options, and that's where you should be able to see it, I think. Could be wrong.
I have where I can see you. And I can, like, and I keep clicking on things, in, like, video section, but it's not changing. So I don't know what's going on. Not Zoom expert yet, so. But this was better than Big Blue Button because that was freezing. So, okay, so Faith, you're with me? You got this, Faith? Okay.
Yep.
So like this assessment part, you will just talk about pretty much what you would talk about in your assessment that you did in your lesson plans. You essentially will pull that out and just write a summary there. So a lot of this is repetitive, but it gives a person who wants to just know, okay, what is the assessments that we're going to be looking at? That way you have an idea of just what those assessments are, not that the whole have to go through each lesson to know what each assessment was. Does that make sense? Okay,
Yep, makes sense.
cool. And then this part is just kind of explaining your different instructional strategies and learning preference. That's it. I've had students do this as like an actual bulleted list, and they actually did it as a bullet. I had people like actually write out paragraphs. As long as I see these things in there, I'm not taking points off of that. I just want to see those things.
Cool.
Because ideally, when you actually are teaching, most of the time you are not doing a lot of this development on your own by yourself. But you have a starting point if you had to, like, if like your school has no textbook and no curriculum, you have at least something that you've done before that you can start basing stuff on. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Yeah. because like what I've noticed in student teaching, like what I saw this semester, they actually had a textbook. They already had design curriculum. They already had design assessments. So, and it was pretty much turn page style where they were just going through the book and then they get through their teacher documents and they're like, oh, now you give this worksheet. Oh, here is the test. Like it was all in one book together. And then what I saw last semester, my students teaching, they had nothing. So she had to make her own worksheet. She had to make her own lesson plans. She wrote her own tests. She had to write her own quizzes just based on the standards and the order that the teacher was going to cover them. So she had a starting point on where to go on how to structure herself a little bit. Does that make sense? That's one of the main motivations behind these unit and lesson plans, is so that way you have some practice on doing this in case you get stuck in a district where they don't have those resources for you already. But there's going to be a lot of districts that already have like a scripted document for you just to literally read to the students. So, but it won't always be that way. Other questions?
So did you want a draft of our unit plan and then a finalized unit plan? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Two
so I would like to
parts?
like give you feedback on it because I don't want these things turned in on the last day of class and then somebody didn't know what they were doing yet or just kind of like half-assed it and wanted a full nice grade for it. That way you know what I'm expecting before you're turning in for the real grade. Does that make sense?
Okay, is there a spot on Moodle for the draft and the final unit?
So right now, all I have in there is just the unit plan. So I can put in there and I can change these to draft 1 and draft 2 and draft 3 if that would make things easier for you. Would y'all like that? Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're running out of time. It's about to kick us off. So how about let's see. Duplicate. There we go. And obviously I have to go in and change these due dates because I'm duplicating off of their due dates. Stupid. No. What just happened? Whoa. Okay, I don't know what's going on. There we go. Almost there. Now you got them. And did y'all? So what are y'all seeing on y'all screen for me now?
Moodle.
Moodle. Okay. All right. So they're there now. And then edit.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. So these are also linked to the grade book. So obviously if I put 2 different grades in here for y'all, that won't work because you're not going to get like, so if you made like a 70 here and a 90 here, it's going to count those as 2 different assignments. So I'd have to edit the grade book at the end. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But obviously the highest grade that you have for each of those lesson plans is the grade that you have for that lesson plan. Then, does that make sense? Not averaging them, I'm taking the highest.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So there's that. All right. Other questions? Yes, no? And if not, I will go ahead and start the next session if y'all would like. And then that way we can keep talking. Cool. All right. So I'm going to stop recording this one.